Morning guys, welcome back to the channel. So, we're back in Indiana with the Newport. So maybe you remember about 2 months ago I came up to Indiana and we pulled this car out of a barn or a garage. Yeah, we're good over here. These wheels rolling. Okay, careful, the corner's long. Yeah, you're still good. Still good. Straight. You're gonna make it. I'm gonna link the video to that here. We brought it home on Frankie. Well, not home. We brought it back here to Indiana, my buddy's dealership. And yeah, I got thinking about the car and I thought, you know what? I don't want that car. Originally, it was purchased for the dealership. They were going to run through an auction. It's a local car here, South Bend, Indiana is where it came from. And I got looking at the car and I'm like, you know what? I'd like to do a will start on that car. So let's take a walk around and see what we got. So what we got here is a 1967 Chrysler Newport Custom. She's a two-door, not a crew cab. I see a lot of these on YouTube videos and they're always crew cabs. Very few of the two-doors. So you know what? It's kind of an interesting car. It is a lot of sheet metal. I'll put a measurement here on the screen how long this car is. But let's see what we got here. So we've got a little bit of patina, we'll call it, on the edges here. Just a little bit of surface rust starting to show through here. Obviously that's going to clean up fairly nicely, get all that kind of mold and mildew off it. The glass is all in great shape. All the chromes here, little things like this is all going to clean up. The glass is going to clean up very nicely. All right, coming along to the hood, still on the body lines, we get a little bit of that surface rust showing through. The car was owned by a subscriber of Hemming Motor News. We got an inspection sticker here from 1980, which is kind of cool. Arkansas State Police. So, let's figure out where this car has been. We've got the wheel opening covers here. It is a disc brake car. You can see they've got the disc brake wheel covers on it too. So, those tires are, well, let's just say they're quite old. We do have dual exhaust back here. The last year it was plated was 2010. All right, so that's about 15 years ago. What we don't have is keys. All right, so when we got the car, there's no keys for it. So there's a title. Keys could not be located. So we've been able to make a copy, or take the ignition out and had a copy of the ignition key made. So today we're going to try to get into the trunk, pull that trunk lock cylinder, and get that taken care of. We're missing our antenna here. So yes. Does it need paint? Yep. But is it all there? Is it totally complete? It is. Let's take a look at the inside of this thing. So it's got the green vinyl interior with the cloth inserts. You can see this car's in great shape. Look at those door cards. Power windows. We do have the vent windows here, and they work. So we have an AM radio. We have an alternator gauge and a gas gauge, but that's the only gauges we have. You can see right there, mileage on the car is 51,600. That is original. It's not 151. Tell by looking at the pedals. You can tell by a lot of things on this car that is just original mileage. Kind of nice. Everything in here is. There's a lot of chrome even on the inside. That coming down the door pillars is chrome. The headliner is in great shape. We've got the ashtrays on both sides of the back. We've got the split bench with the fold down armrest there. Power seat, of course. Power windows, power locks, power steering. Car was offered, I think, with the 383 and a 440 big block. And we've got not only the 440 big block, we got the 440 big block high output, which is about 25 horsepower more than the regular 440. Okay, so you see we got power brakes, we got power steering. It is an air conditioning car. Will that work? Probably not. We do have a, that's getting smaller and smaller as we look at it. So we'll have to replace that. This is a windshield washer pump. So let's get into this thing. Let's take it apart. To get a quick look over here. So the upper hose actually looks really good here. I did take a look at this lower hose earlier, and it's got a spring in it, but the rubber feels really soft. So we're going to want to change that. Looking at fluids. Hello, hello, hello. Yeah, nothing down in there, I don't think. So we're going to add a little fluid to that and see if and where it runs out. Power steering. Same situation. She's empty. Where'd it go? I don't know. Well, it's right up to the full mark. It's not milkshakey. And it smells like oil. It doesn't smell like gas. It smells like oil, not gas. So that's a good thing. What do we got in our brake reservoir here? Alright, so the back one, which would be the front disc brakes, is about bone dry. We do have a little fluid left up here, though, for the back brakes. So, let's see. This looks slightly wet up here. We've got a melted, it says fusible link down there and there, so that's a little bit melted off. What do we got? Oh, well, look at that. Okay, so that module obviously looks like it's supposed to be body mounted right there with the holes provided, and probably that way grounded to the car. Instead it's hanging on this little rubber grommet knob that's not going to ground out anything. We got the double belt here. They don't look as bad as one would expect. Of course, we got the 4-barrel under here. Let's see. Our choke is free. It is free and moving. Happy to see that. So I'm sure she's going to need to be cleaned up. But it. Oh, look at that hose. That looks rough right there. We're going to want to change that out for sure. We've got a few things going on here we're going to want to look at. I don't see any vacuum lines off, though. And you know what? I don't see anything chewed up, to be honest with you. A lot of fur in here. So where'd the fur come from? If it wasn't mice, because you know what? None of the wires look chewed on. Everything looks like it's in pretty decent shape. So I think somebody's been in here a little bit because, well, this is missing. Obviously somebody changed this out and didn't mount it back on there. It's got a battery in it. See, the battery was from 1109, so the year before the vehicle, oh, what's this? The year before the vehicle was taken off the road. What do we got down here? Kind of cool. Sort of card. Chrysler Corporation. Vehicle identification. Huh. That is pretty neat that that's still with the vehicle. It's got a little pouch down here. See that? Vehicle Certiguard. Do not remove. For dealer use only. That's kind of cool. Battery cables. Well, that's red, and this is red. It's got the 2 red option apparently. This, look at that. Doesn't look good. It's way loose. So, pretty good chance that wouldn't start the car anyways. We've got this cable here. Oh, look, it's loose inside of here. Nothing about this is in good shape. Oh, and guessing this is what they used as a battery tie down. Maybe a hook into here. Not sure what they had going on here. Yeah, I don't know what they had going on here. So, oh, there's another bungee cord, double cord. Oh, it's the double bungee option. Popular with the big blocks, apparently. All right, so we've got the chrome valve covers, because chrome will get you home. And see the oil filter down here right on the front of the engine. Looks like that power steering pump, maybe the line's leaking. It's very wet up in here around the unit itself. I think it's time to dig into that. The double horns up here. Can't wait to hear what those sound like. We do have dual exhaust all the way to the back. Let's get down underneath here and see what we got. So there's our floor pans. They look like they're in excellent shape. There's my exhaust coming through here. Dual mufflers. Look at those rockers. So the car does have a little body, little surface rust on it, even a little surface rust down here. Really, really clean. Like I say, there's zero rot on this car. Look at those tires. Wow. They've been on there for a while. That would be pre-date code. They leave us anything in the glove box. Those are cup holders of the day. We had, I think this was a set of points. Yeah, points. So definitely, absolutely need those. We went through some of this in the first video when we found the car. What? Okay, I think this is the key that Justin, my buddy, had made up for me to start the car. So there's two keys for this car. This is before cars went to the single key option. So you had a key for the trunk and the doors and a key to start the car. Two different ones. Ford did it, Chevy did it, Chrysler of course did it. They were all doing that back then. So let's get into it, start cleaning it up and see what we got. Wow. It smells surprisingly like faint aroma of fuel. Doesn't smell like varnish or anything. It doesn't actually smell that bad, but it's very faint. I'm wondering if the tank was actually empty when they parked it. We got today and tomorrow to see if we can get this thing starting and running, and I did go ahead and they just got delivered right there. I had some new wheels and tires delivered, so I'm not trusting these things 700 miles, that's for sure. I had those delivered. We'll go ahead and get those put on, and then the game plan is drive home on Monday. I am cheating. I got a chase vehicle following me home, just in case. But I do have a meeting on Tuesday that's kind of important I'm there for. So we are going to do everything we can to get this home in one day. Going to leave Monday morning, and 700 miles later, see where we get to. All right, I am at my buddy's shop at Rock Solid Motorsports. You've seen that before on the channel, but I am going to do my best to do this out in the back. They are busy today and tomorrow while I'm working on this with service work and customers' cars and things like that, so they don't really have room for me to bring it in on one of the lifts, which is totally cool because I really want to try to do this thing out here in the yard and just see what I can come up with. You don't always have the luxury of having, you know, a shop nearby. I brought all the tools with me that I need in van, so pretty much gonna be doing this on my own back here. Let's do this, guys. All right, let's start here. These cables are no good, so I'm gonna take this cable off of here and I'm gonna run down to CarQuest and see if they can't make me a cable or have one in stock. They'll run over here, my solenoid, and also run down here and pick up my starter down there. So I'd like to change this cable out. I also want to change this cable out here. This is my negative cable, and they ran it. They used a positive cable. Now a positive cable is used to going over a bigger terminal than a negative terminal. So to make it fit, they just cranked the thing down tight. There's no wiggle room in there. It's just like, and it looks dumb having a red cable on a negative side. So let's get this thing off of here. We'll pull it back here where it grounds to the motor, and I want to check and see where it grounds back from the block to the body. Make sure we've got a good connection there so the chassis got a good ground as well, because this currently only grounds to the block. So I just want to make sure we got a good ground to the chassis, and then we're going to try to get this fixed up here because we're not going to draw any amps through there, turn this thing over. So let's get these cables out. Alright, and there's one negative cable. That's happy because it's positive, I guess. Well, that's nice. Battery tray's not all rotten out. I like that. Deluxe 75 belted, tubeless, oily on the bottom. 235, 75 B15s. Phantom Deluxe. I mean, they're living large. We got a lug nut missing here. So clearly we got the 5 lug package, but we only got 4 lugs. So let's get that off of there. Seems to be pretty tight. We don't have a whole lot of movement in that, which is good for the front end and the bearings as well. I think I'm going to put it off the jack stand, set it down again, loosen those lugs, and get this tire up so we can really get in and see that starter. I think a good start here would be taking all our 4 caps off, putting a little PB blaster on all those, because judging by this first one, they're going to be a little tight to get off. Alright, so went around to the passenger side. Everything loosened up quite nicely. Driver's side rear, driver's side front, they're loosen. And I remembered, it's a 1967. So back then in the day, they thought, well, the lug nuts will come loose on the side of the car if we put them on the regular way. Doesn't look like that happens, seeing as they've changed that, and all the lug nuts are the same in a car now. But these ones are a righty loosey, lefty tighty variety, which makes me wonder if the wheel company that I ordered my wheels from understood that and sent me half my lug kit is right hand thread and half my lug kit is left hand thread. There's no notification of that in the order. I don't know if they did. They knew what car they were going on. Let's see how good they really are. But now if I try to righty tighty up, it makes me sneeze. Now look at that, they come loose. Righty tighty, see, and they're coming loose. So let's continue to righty tighty these things all the way off. I can see that wheel's already coming free, so it's not seized on there. That's nice. Yeah. Date codes? No. Oh. They were made the same time the Book of Deuteronomy was being written. Right there. Wow. Pads are like brand new. Rotors, not so much. I'm going to take those off and see if they can be turned. I don't know if they've been turned before. We're going to find out. We have grease fittings on everything, and we've got a lot of undercoating in here. So we'll probably get some black paint and just mist that around in here so it looks like it's all brand new. The little puddle on the floor is from the cleaner, the lube, not from the brakes. So let's get you down in here. So there's the rotors. It'd be nice to actually pop those wheel studs out and change them out if they indeed sent me the wrong lug nuts. How much meat's left on those pads? They look like new, don't they? So you can see the copious amounts of underspray in here, but I'm seeing no rot, I'm seeing no rust. Pretty happy about that. That could use a power washer right there. Get 0.3 extra miles to the gallon if I get all that junk off of there. Alright, grease fittings are out. We're gonna have to re-grease everything. We'll check those front make sure that it's not dry in there, make sure it's got some fluid in there, but I think I might want to check my wheel lugs and then pop those out and change them out to the right hand thread, if at all possible, if it makes sense. Because remember, we're missing a lug nut on the front here too. I'd rather change those lug studs than buy new lug nuts. Getting up under here, you see It's a transmission. It's nice and dry. Seeing a whole lot of issues there. There's our oil pan. It's a little wet, but I think that's probably coming down off the rockers up top. Here's our starter. We're going to disconnect the wire off of there. Hit the new cable. I'm seeing an engine mount up there. Let's see. It's back in here. I don't know if we get a camera there or not. It's intact, but the rubber is cracking. The exhaust looks good. So we've got a new piece of exhaust in here on this side. This pipe has been changed, obviously. Back to here. Mufflers look like they've been replaced too. I had a little bit of work done on it. This also looks new up here. This washer looks fairly new up here. So maybe a few things were done to this car. Who knows? Maybe the guy did a little maintenance once in a while. Alright, so we've got the main cable off the starter. Let's get the smaller cable off of here. Get some new cables in here because there's, you know, nothing richer than the sound of a Mopar starter. You know the sound. Okay guys, first part's run. We are leaving the dealership and heading to the... Got a couple of battery cables, battery tie down kit. Let's pick up some brake fluid while we're there. Put some in there. Let's see if it starts leaking out from any place obvious. Step one, get some power to it. See if it makes spark. If it makes spark, we'll pull fuel. If it pulls fuel, will it combust and ignite? Then we'll go down the road and then we'll stop at the end of the road. These are all things we're about to find out. Alright guys, CarQuest for the win on that one. That is our old negatives. Look at the new negative. That's right. Crimped, custom cut. They crimped it right there for me so I didn't have to buy like just an off-the-shelf cable. And then they fixed up my positive too. Put all that together, put a proper fitting on there. So appreciate you guys over at CarQuest. Got me all set up. A couple of cables, fittings, the labor to do it and all that, like 20 bucks. That's not bad. Alright, we're just getting the battery cables back in here. Look, it's black because it's negative. It's red because it's positive. That makes much more sense. We've got a relay right here, and just remembered, I bought a new one because why not? They're not that expensive, and if this is a part that might give me some trouble, then I'm going to go ahead and change it out for a couple of bucks. Let's go ahead and change out this relay real quick. Well, we're right here anyways. Alright, we got a couple new battery cables in here connected down at the starter, so let's throw a new battery in here. Well, no sparkles. That's good. Let's go ahead and get this thing connected and jump inside, see if the key will turn. Alright, battery in. Do power. Let's see. Seat. Wow. Power seat. Up. Down. Fully functional. Nice. Horn. Dash lights. Well, that one's making noise, but we don't have the key in yet, so let's pop the key in here and see what we get. What else works over here? Let's see. Wipers. Oh yeah, we got wipers. Washer. You can hear the pump screaming over there. Lights. Well, the voltage gauge jumps. I'm going to take a look at that. Let's see. That's true. Oh, that's the flashers over there. Alright, maybe that should be on. Wow. The vent fan works. High. Heat. Defrost. I'm not sure if the door is open yet, but we'll figure that out in just a second here. Okay, so we got a vent fan. Now, I'll tell you what, this switch doesn't move right and it sticks in the opposition. These switches probably need to be taken out and cleaned up a little bit. I'm sure they could use a little help from sitting. It doesn't sound like we have a radio. Not really surprised there. It means we'll be listening to the phone on the way home. Let's turn the vent fan off. So the blower fan works great. We'll try the lighter there, see if we can charge a phone on the way home. We got some rear vents. Well, we'll have to see what that does. Feels like it's working. Wait, I can hear it. There's a vent someplace back there. This is off. I can hear it blowing in the back someplace. I gotta do a little research, see what's blowing back there. Alright, hey, these seats are super comfy, by the way. Wow, I love it. Alright, we've got the key in the run position. We've got a remote starter. Let's see if she'll turn over. Oh yeah, she turns over just fine. And it sounds like she's got decent compression because she's not spinning real easy. So let's go ahead and check and see if we have spark and go from there. Okay, we got our spark tester in here. Let's turn it over and see if we can see a spark. That'd be negative on the spark. So probably gonna start with points. All right, so technical difficulties. I had just gotten the screw out of here that goes in there, and my buddy was helping put the ignition back in the car, and the horn blew, which is right here. I jumped, and I'm not sure where the screw is. Alright, so we ran a scope down in here, and we're pretty sure that the screw that got dropped in there didn't actually get dropped in there. It's gone down someplace to never be seen again. Anyways, back to points. So they're old points, new points. Put a new condenser in there, and a new screw. So let's get these guys in there. Alright, let's turn it over one more time, see if we got some spark now. Spark plug wires coming in through here. Okay, that's still a nabob. Nothing there. So let's check power at the coil. Alright, remember we found this little box here? It was just hanging on that little rubber grommet. It's clearly a couple of mounting locations for that right here. Warning, do not short any terminals to ground. I wonder if they were worried about that. So they didn't connect it to a ground. Alright, so if I go any bigger with the holes, the bolts won't fit through here. So I'm just going to put brand new holes right beside it. If any of you guys like me watch Dalton over at Pole Barn Garage, you understand exactly the procedure I'm about to do. He's a master at this. I'm just a young grasshopper. I got the torsion bars for the hood here kind of in my way. So let me see if I can fandangle this. Try to do this with the drill instead of the driver, just because it's got a longer nose to get back in there. It's still bottomed out. It's hitting here. The drill's not quite long enough. Try to do this a little differently. We're going to have a whole new mounting location for this. Alright, pull the old one off. New one comes with a wood screw. It's awesome. Alright, let's review. We changed the resistor. We mounted this module to the freight roll. Now we're going to turn the key on and once again check for spark. Okay, update. We've got spark. I had the tester down. And, well, it's hard to see it on camera. So I just, look down here. Look at that spark plug. Champion. I don't know if you can see that, but there's a plug. It's fairly original. That one's been changed. Champion in there, so let's see what we got. Alright, we'll pull the plugs out, and well, one of these things does not look like the other. So yeah, it's like some kind of an extension piece. We're guessing an anti-fouler or something. The threads seem fine, so I don't think they put it in because the threads are stripped. Threads seem fine, it threaded in and back just fine. So we're gonna try to run without that and see what we get. We might have a little oil blow by in that cylinder, and that was supposed to help. Who knows? All right, we've got an inline fuel filter down here. You see that right there? And before we crank this thing over too many more times, let's try to pull that filter out of there. I've got a catch pan on the bottom. We're going to see if we're pumping any fuel, and if we are, let's not get all that junk up into the carburetor. All right, made in Brazil. I don't know if you can see this, but yeah, where'd you go, James? It's a little rusty. All right, I've got my plugs. 0.035. I'm just gonna put just a little dab of NECs on here. Not much. A little dab will do you. And start running new plugs in this thing. Alright guys, the plugs are in. A fun job, but this driver's side over here, the steering's in the way everywhere. Passenger side, I approve. That was nice, clear, open. All four of them went in real easy. So I think what we're going to do now is change out the cap of the rotor and the wires. Don't look terrible, but I've got a new one, so I'm going to change it. Oh yeah. Picked up a new coil too, so let's go ahead and change that out. You know, we're doing the whole parts cannon method here, just, you know, throw everything at it. Definitely gotta get a new fuel filter on. That was rough. There we go. Got a set of wires we're gonna put on it. Don't know why my camera wasn't focusing. Cap, rotor, ignition coil. Alright, well I pulled it out and it's leaking oil. So I'm gonna go with, that's a bad sign. Let's put the new one in. Alright, new ignition coils in, but of course they don't fit over top of the screws. Why would they? So grab the drills, let's drill those out, make them fit. Alright, so now let's go ahead and hook up the distributor. And again, the hole is just a little bit small, so we simply take a drill and drill it out just a little bit. Alright, so I've bumped the engine over and I've got the points right up on top of a lobe, and so my gap in here is between 0.014 and 0.019, and I don't fit in there right now with a 0.017. So I'm going to adjust that gap and open it up a little bit. I'll undo the screw down here to loosen it, and I'll use a little screwdriver to push this back so I get the right gap to tighten her back down again. Okay, that's properly gapped at this point. So what we're going to do is we're going to change out the rotor button in there, and then we're going to change out the cap. And I'm going to change these wires one at a time, and I'm going to be checking the firing order as I go. Alright, new cap's on. I did put a number 1 mark in there. I don't know if you can see it on camera. The new cap and rotor on there. 1 lines up with where 1 used to be, and we are good to go. And pull all the old wires out of here and start routing it. The new ones in routing. This one here I noticed had a split in it here. Yeah, probably not the greatest thing. Alright, so I've laid all the wires out here on the bed of Frankie, and you see 2 of them had straight boots, and those were, I believe, 1 and 2 near the front of the engine. This really long guy here, that's got to be number 7, because he was away on the other side and at the back. So what I want to do is I'm going to take these wires here and I'm going to try to line them up lengthwise as close as I can with these guys here. And because I marked which ones these are, I can now mark these ones, and that'll just help putting the whole thing back together. Alright, so I've got all my cables lined up. Take my longest one, which is this guy right here. He's number 7. I feel like I'm playing bingo here. So we're going to put him, that'll be the new number 7. Number 5. So we're going to put him with the second longest. Boom. we pretty much just took the process of elimination and laid out all the cables so they match size-wise. So now we can run them one at a time. We'll start with the longest one because I like a challenge. So here we go. Let's go for it. Well guys, you can tell by the incredibly great lighting that the sun, she's getting low in the sky. We couldn't figure out why this thing would not give me spark. And it turns out the coil, when we changed it, we put it back exactly like we found it, went back, checked the video, it's just like we found it. Well, it was in there backwards to start with, so that was probably part of the reason that whoever's monkeying was before couldn't get it started. So the coil is now wired correctly. We now have spark. All right, we got some 3/8 gas line. We're gonna go down here and put it on to the fuel pump. So we got our fuel filter in line down here. I'll give you a close-up of that in a second. I changed out the vacuum advance here as well on the distributor because, well, that line was like concrete. It was so harsh. So I'm gonna try to prime the fuel pump by pouring a little bit of Monster down the fuel line that is connected and just seeing if I can get a little bit of fuel to flow down into there. Kind of wet that diaphragm a little bit so it's not starting completely dry. I'm pouring just a little bit down there too. I'm kidding, I just used an empty can. Please, don't do what I do. This is a how I did, not a how-to. The idea here is we're going to turn the engine over a little bit, and we're just going to see, first of all, if it barks off from that little bit of fuel I put down the carb. Second, we're going to see if there's any fuel coming up to the carb from the pump. So, let me grab my Lone Wolf starter over there and turn the key on. Did you hear that? It's going to take a minute to prime some fuel up there. I'm looking at the clear filter I put on there though. She's not pulling any fuel. So let me give a little squirt down the carb. Take my Monster back over here. That was a runner. Okay, the problem is we still haven't pulled any fuel out of the tank. So the question is that fuel pump going to pump? I like how it fired off there for a second. A little more. Whoa, way too much. All right. That's a starter. It runs. She's a thirsty girl, isn't she?
You still got a huge vacuum thing back
Oh, yeah. Let me fix that real quick. That'll be part of it. Alright guys, it's late. the end of day one. I'll be back here first thing in the morning and see if we can't get it moving around the parking lot. Morning, guys. Saturday morning, day 2 on the Newport. Seeing the wheels, tires there for the first time in daylight. Pretty happy with that. So can't wait to get the backs changed up. But this morning, I've discovered that over in that building, there's an Amish donut shop. And so, well, I'm at my skinniest point of the day. Yeah. I think it'd be a good time to crawl through the back seat and see if we can't get this trunk open. Who knows? Maybe there's a bag of loot in that big old trunk. I mean, there's room for a bag of loot in that big old trunk. How big is that trunk? It could be at least a 4 foot, maybe even a little bit more than 4 foot deep trunk lid. There's a lot of sheet metal in this car. A lot of sheet metal. So let's try to get in here. We don't have keys for doors. We do have keys for ignition. So let's get into it, see what we find. All right, cold start. Give it a couple pumps there. Sounds pretty good. Let me get back to you. All right, so after a little bit of research, the trick is push back and then lift up. What in the world? You gotta see this. I got a beach back here. Oh boy, that's a long ways back. Ah, that was a golfer, I think. All right, so here's our seats. Pretty good condition, actually. There's part of a build sheet. Part of it. There's a little eaten. Look at that. It's like the beach is here. Huh, okay. But you can see there's a striker plate in the back. So that's what we're gonna have to get to. Look at that. She's solid. She is solid. Let's get some wrenches and try to get back there. Let's see. Ah. Oh man, there's a lot of clubs in here. Jumper cables in here. Oh, look at that.
Looks like you lost some ammo.
Callaway, Big Bertha. Yeah. A lot of clubs. Oh yeah. Half the extensions in Indiana. I'm 3 blocks away trying to see what size nut that is. Right. That's right. How many sockets it took? It's as tall as I am. Alright, so last night I put fluid in the master because it was out. Pumped on the brakes a bunch. Fluid's still there. Hasn't gone down at all. So I feel like either I'm not losing fluid or the master's just not working at all. So I sprayed a little PV blaster on here, and I'm going to see if I can loosen that off without breaking the line. Yeah, no fluid coming out of there at all. It should at least gravity bleed down a little bit. Let's see what I got going on here. Nice. Both those go really nicely. Didn't try to take the line with them. Again, I got nada. Nothing's coming out of there at all. Kind of tells me that my master might not be any good. Tell you what, go put a little pressure on the brake pedal. Come on back up here and see if we get anything. Oh, now we just started getting a little fluid here at the front. So that's gonna be for our rear brakes. This is gonna be for our front disc brakes. Now fluid is starting to flow. Just a little bit, not much. I'm gonna leave that loose so that it can kind of gravity bleed itself a little bit, but not squirt fluid everywhere. I'm gonna pump on that brake pedal a few more times, get a little more pressure in there. See if I can, in essence, bench bleed it on the cart. I got fluid on both sides now. Still have lots of fluid in here. Let me pump it a few more times. See if we get some bubbles out of it. I got great pressure up here. Close that off. Pretty sure I'm gonna have to do wheel cylinders in the back. It'd be nice if we get these front brakes to come around. And folks, we have a pedal. We have a pedal. Okay, spray down the bleeder on here. that off and see if that's gonna bleed down at all. Look at that. The whole bleeder screw right out. I got nothing there. I'll pump that pedal a little bit more and see if I can get some brake action down here. Now, very good chances that rubber line is no good. Let's do a little preemptive soak on that. There we go. So, what's happening is the brakes are applying and then they're sticking on. So that tells me fluid might be getting through that hose. It's probably collapsing the inside and it's not letting it go back the other way. Let me pump the brakes one more time and see if that locks up again. Still turning freely. Okay. No, it's just got a stiff spot in it. That's what it is. When we got the car, I picked the car up, all four wheels were froze. They broke free pretty quickly, but they were froze up when we got it. All right, so here's what we're looking at here. This thing has just got a lot of mud on it. So let's go ahead and clean it up a little bit. The line actually looks like it's in pretty good shape as far as lines go. It's not rusted or rotted or anything. The car is incredibly solid. It's got miles and miles of mud on it. That is not going to be good for the fuel economy on the way home. Pulling half of the farm with me here. I just realized that actually what I picked up and brought was the rear brake flex line. So, all right. All right. That came out of there nicely. Oh, look at that. We got fluid there. I think we have fluid there. Is that? Let's see if we got fluid at the other end of that lamp. Yep. We do. We got fluid at this end of the line. Next, let's check the other end of the line, shall we? Okay, so getting fluid there too, aren't I? So, I guess I need to have somebody go in there and push on the brake pedal and see if it locks this thing up. If it does, next question is why am I not getting fluid at the top of it yet? I need to sit there and gravity bleed for a little bit. Nothing coming through yet. Now, I'm just going to leave that bleeder screw loose. See if she doesn't drain off on her own just a little bit there. So I got the bottom caliper bolt out here. There's a hole for a top caliper bolt, but no bolt there. Alright, so it seems like the problem is this rubber line here because I can't get any fluid through it. So got a couple of those ordered. They won't be here till tomorrow morning though. So I was able to find a replacement bolt for the caliper, the one that was missing at the top. So let's go ahead and put the caliper back on. And I got some left-hand thread lug nuts. A little harder to find than you might think. So everything seems nice in here. Let's get that caliper back on. Put the pad towards the rotor. Stops better and probably a whole lot of noise as well. Let's see if I can get these pistons in at all. Let's put a big old C-clamp in there and see what that'll do. It doesn't want to sit up on there, of course. Oh, that moved back because fluid just squirted out. There you go. Success. And just get both pistons on one side moved back. Should be enough to get this back on there. See that fluid coming out? That means piston moved for me. That also means piston's not seized, which is kind of nice. There we go. Much nicer. Much nicer. Behind a little Honda Accord on the way back over here from the parts store, and this guy's gonna be funny. That engine is just a racing. Driving the minivan and staying right there with them, and I get half throttle. Driving that thing like it's a race car. It's pretty funny. He was taking it pretty seriously. He had his best girl with him, and he's trying to impress her, I guess, and all that. That was adorable. Alright, that's back together. Let's turn the wheel straight. Let's put the tires back on this thing, lower it back down. When you pump the pedal, there's brakes someplace. I'm just not sure where they are. So, we might have enough brakes to put in gear and drive it over there where the garden hose is and just clean it up a little bit. Who knows? Let's see what we got. Just a little lube on those before I put the lug nuts on. So we're good there. That little rubbing noise you hear is where it's hitting the spot where it was parked. But look at that. That's about 1/28 of an inch clearance there. There's not much. So I'm gonna see if I can get some real thin spacers for behind the fronts here. Not sure that they knew it was a disc brake car. There's my buddy over at Sleeper Dude always says, check your rear end, boys. Nobody else is gonna check it for you. So let's get in here and see. This thing's obviously leaked some oil in its day. Oh, it runs right out. You know what? It looks pretty clean dripping over there. Pretty clean oil. What I'm down here for is up here. I'm going to try to get that brake line broke apart without actually breaking anything. See if I've got fluid there. Okay, so we've got too much of this. They wrapped the spring around the outside of it. It comes right to the nut. And so the problem is I can't get a line wrench on there because the opening in the line wrench isn't as big as the spring. I'm gonna have to get the old vice grips out on this one. All right, guys, let me give you an update from under here. This is where the rubber line comes down into the distribution block that goes to the left side and the right side, and here's where it joins into the metal brake line. I loosened this nut off, and I've got fluid here. You can see my finger. So this brake line appears to be swollen and not letting anything through. So I'm taking off the bracket up here, so I can do this, bring it down, change it out down here. I think I've got the part with me to do it. I won't know until I get it down. It looks a little different, but I think it's gonna fit. So let's get that out of here. All right, this appears to be the part I need, I think. Oh, that was it. That might not be the right flare on the end of that. All right, let me look at it a little closer, and then this goes down, and yeah, let me see how this works. Hey guys, good morning. It's a beautiful sunny Sunday here in Indiana, and we got a lot of work done on this car this weekend. So waiting on some parts, actually some brake lines. Nothing's in stock for these things, believe it or not. I'm going to do a new mechanical fuel pump, put an electric on, but I really like to do a mechanical, so I've got that on order. Looking around for the heater core for this particular unit. A little harder to find when that's a factory AC car. We got a lot done. I'm happy with the weekend. I'm actually very excited by what we got done. I want to thank Rockstar Motorsports. Yeah, I mean, friends like these, you gotta love them. They let me come here and use their parking lot, work on my car. They're just great guys. So I'm going to tag them in the link below. If you are looking for a classic car, if you need help with your classic car, if you want to know what your classic car is worth because you'd like to come in and consign it, well, these are the guys you want to talk to. They're very knowledgeable. They're great people. They're my best friends. So I appreciate them letting me be here and doing this. But it's Sunday. It's gorgeous here. We're staying at my in-laws. They've got a pool, beers, burgers, brats, all the good stuff. I'm not going to work on the car today. So this green machine is not coming home with us this weekend. Not a failure. That's fine. This isn't what I do for a living. This is what I do for fun. So I got to get back. I've got a business to run. I've got meetings on Tuesday I need to be back for. So we're going to drive home all day Monday. But today it's going to be family day. So thanks for watching this. If you haven't watched the original video where we went and got this out of a garage, go watch that. It was kind of a fun time. Watch that video. Tune in, like, subscribe, and hit the notifications because you want to see when this thing drives home. We're back up in Michigan in about 4 or 5 weeks for a wedding. we'll probably stop on the way back from Michigan, snag this up, put the new brake lines on, a couple other little things, fuel pump and stuff like that. Other than that, I think she's ready to roll. So while this green machine is not coming home this weekend, that one is. That's right. I don't know if you watched the first video, that was in the same garage as this, and we pulled it out with that. So that's coming home. It's got no rear wheels on it, but I was thinking, I don't know, can we put a go-kart axle on that? Can we put a little Predator Ghost engine out the back of it? Could we, I don't know. What's the wildest green machine build you've ever seen? If you've seen one, link it down below. Let me know about it. If you haven't, well, get ready to see one on the channel. I can't wait. This thing runs fantastic. You heard it runs great. I can't wait to get that on the road and head on home to North Carolina. All right, guys, thanks again. See you next time.